What's up guys, Hobbo88 here and welcome back to iRacing Build Week, Week 13, and we are here in this video to have a look at the most famous dirt track in the world, Knoxville Raceway, and it's come to iRacing and we're going to take a look at it in all the different cars on iRacing that can run on the dirt with the exception of the NASCAR truck, but we're going to have a run with all the other dirt cars at Knoxville and see how they all stack up and get some impressions about the track and all the cars on the track. So we're going to kick things off straight out of the bat. That didn't make any sense, but straight off the bat with the legend, Dirt Legends. So slowest car, I think, on the service, or seemingly one of the slowest cars on the service. So we'll start with this and we'll cut a few laps and take a look at the replay and then do the same for each of the different cars. So we're just going to roll off out of the infield and out onto the track. And as I get up to speed, I'm also just going to quickly mention here as well that iRacing is running a promotion at the minute for new members, and you can get 3 months of iRacing for $5. It's nice and cheap, so I want to mention that here just so you guys are aware of that. I'll include the details in the description below, and I also wanted to just point out as well that if you are going to sign up for the first time, please do refer me and my email when you go through the checkout. It's costs you nothing, doesn't cost a penny, but it does help support the channel and give something back to this channel. So it means a lot to me if you guys are signing up, if you'd be willing to do that, and I really appreciate it if you do. And my email and also a direct sign up link is in the description below as well. So you can either follow the link to refer me or just include my email when you go through the checkout. And like I said, I've also included the promo code down there for you guys as well. So get on board, it's good fun, and the free content with iRacing is pretty decent, and you do get access to the Legend that we're driving right now, and the street stock on dirt, as well as USA Speedway, and I think Linear might be a free track too, I can't remember now, but you do get access to a few little bits and pieces, so I recommend it. But enough about that, let's talk about Knoxville. So I know I've been complaining a lot, well, not complaining, but I've been screaming out about having shorter tracks added to the service. We've got all big tracks apart from Lanier, really. Eldora drives like a smaller track, but it is pretty big still. We've got a lot of big tracks, and I've been saying for a long time I want some short tracks. Give us some short tracks, quarter miles, that sort of thing. And you know, this is definitely not a short track. It's about as big as any other out there, but how could I possibly complain about having Knoxville Raceway on iRacing? And really, when you think about it, what kind of a dirt sim would it be if it didn't have Knoxville? So I'm super glad that it's here, and I have to say it looks stunning. We're out here at the minute to start the day off. 0% track state, completely fresh track, hasn't been driven on at all. And we're in the morning, so we're going to work our way up through the track states, and we're also going to look at the different times of day as we try all the different vehicles. And I should point out as well, early on in the video here, that if you don't want to watch all the cars, you only want to watch specific ones, instead of just scrolling through the video, I've also included in the description below just some quick links to the sections of the video relevant to each car. So if you just want to watch the sprint car, go to the description, you'll see a link there that will a timestamp link that will take you straight to when we jump in the sprint car. So I don't expect everyone to watch every car. Some of you will, and I do appreciate that you want to watch the full video, but of course there will be a few that just want to see the big bangers come out at the end. So feel free, head down into the description below and find what you're looking for down there. Hopefully that helps some of you. But the Legend, pretty slow car really by standards of what we've got to compare it with, but at the same time it's actually not that slow. It's quite fast, but it is very easy to drive. It's pretty much hold it flat, turn left, put in a little bit of turn right to catch a slide, but you barely really get it sideways really. It's more or less just holding it flat. So the challenge at this track on this sort of track state isn't really very much of a challenge at all. So it's you know, not exactly hard to drive the car around, but it's still pretty good fun. But what I think would be very interesting in these cars specifically is if we had a room up with a race session of these things all racing together, because they'd be so evenly matched. It'd almost be like plate racing in the NASCARs. You know, you're probably going to need a little bit of draft. It'd be all momentum. There'd be all different lines, some cars doing different things, and very evenly matched. It'd be hard to pull away from the pack, and I think that would be an interesting prospect. So maybe someday we'll do a hosted race. I'll put a server up for you guys to all jump into with me, and we'll do some legend racing at Knoxville. I reckon that'd be good fun. But as far as cutting laps by yourself goes, like we are right now, not extremely challenging. We'll just go with that. But these are a great little car, and they're a good place to learn as well, because you do have to get a bit of a feel for catching the slide and whatnot, and they're a good place to start with before you work your way up into like the big sprint cars or the big sedans. These are definitely a good starting point for someone who's new into the dirt scene. I would recommend it. If you're just starting out, it's a good place to learn your basic skills. But I think what I'm going to do here now, we've done a few laps. If we try a bit of a bigger slide, and it just washes off all the momentum. So we might just back it off here, roll down onto the infield again, and then take a look at the replay. But what I love about iRacing and what they've done so well with their dirt integration is the surfaces on the ground. Like, I'm just fascinated by the mud textures here, even on the pit area. Like, look at this as we go across the sun, reflecting off beautifully from the morning sky. And just the tyre tracks and the mud, it just looks so authentic. I could stare at it for ages, and it sounds crazy because it's just mud. But it is so well done, and the immersion from that is incredible. So let's go ahead and roll back a few laps. We'll run from the broadcast camera up above the main straight and watch a couple of laps here of the legend around what is probably one of the most historic and definitely one of the most well-known dirt tracks in the world, without a doubt. Knoxville Nationals each year held for the sprint cars, almost undoubtedly the biggest event on the sprint car calendar for the year. It's a fast track. It's a really fast track. So while we're watching the replay here, I'm actually going to go and load up in the background here the next car, get it ready. Try and make this switch over as quick as we can. So while you're watching the replay there, I'm just going to load up the members website here and get the next car lined up, which will be the street stock, which we'll have a quick run in next. Should be good fun as well. So the dirt street stock, and we're going to run the track state at about 15% for that car. Oops, sorry about that. Alright, so that's probably enough watching the legend. So let's go ahead and I'll put up this thumbnail real quick, this little landing page, while I quit the server and we load up the street stock. I have to say as well that iRacing's been running a little bit slow, so hopefully we don't hopefully we don't have to wait here too long for the next car to load up. But while I've got a second, while it is loading, I'll just point out that I do enjoy doing these preview videos in this format where it's all real time, no editing. You're not getting the, I'm not cherry picking my best laps. You see me get straight in the car and turn laps, and there is no fudging it. What you see is what you get, and my thoughts and reactions are all live time, real time, what I'm thinking. So, all right, here we go. This is already loaded up. But let me know if you think. I know I asked this in the last video as well, but let me know what you think about the format with these videos. But I quite enjoy doing these sort of like live recordings, impressions videos. Alright, move our seat back just a little bit for the street stock. Big burly vehicle this thing is. So still early in the morning, but the track state's now at 15%. So 0% is obviously completely untouched, heavy mud. And then 100% on the flip side of that, conversely, is completely black with absolutely no grip left at all. Fully blue grooved all the way around the track. The old street stocks are a big cumbersome thing, aren't they? I think underrated, the street stocks. I really love them. They teach you a lot about car control. And to be fast in a street stock, you have to be a good driver. There's no hiding in these cars. That's what I like about them. They're not too difficult to drive. The hardest thing with these is getting your corner entries right. But once you learn that, they're not that difficult to drive. They're actually quite easy. But to be fast in them, you have to be a good driver. You can't hide behind the power or anything like that. You need to get momentum up, carry good speed through the corners, and yeah, guys who are fast in the street stock are typically very good drivers. But anyway, we'll take a look here now. You can see as I start to head towards the fence, I'm running up here because I want to show the cushion. You can kind of see it there, where there's a cushion beginning to form now. There's a slicked off section of track. Oh, trading paint's just popping in with the updated paint. But yeah, you can see that you got the slicked off section of the track. The bottom's still very heavy and wet. The mid track is starting to slicken off a little. It's just had the top blasted off it. And then you've got this cushion, which at the minute right around the inside of the cushion there's going to be probably a good spot to run. Either that or around the very inside of the track while it's still heavy. It's where the most moisture is. And that's why you see cars as the tracks start to get really slick and dusty and they lose a lot of traction in the dirt. That's why you see cars run right up around the top of the track like this, because there's a bit of moisture in that cushion, a bit of grip, and the cars are faster up here. That's just the basics around dirt track racing. I'm sure most of you guys who are watching understand all that stuff, but there might be one or two who don't. So here's my brief, completely uneducated explanation of it. But yeah, I like the fact that the cushion develops nicely. It's actually almost got a bit of a ledge to it. It's not big, but you can kind of feel it. And try and run around the bottom without noobing out and running over the berm on the inside and spinning. See how we go with that. Street stock's pretty tough car to get stopped and turned. There we go, as I do run over the curb on the inside a little. That was alright. It's actually pretty fast. People ask me all the time, what's better for dirt, R Factor or iRacing? And I know that graphics and visuals are really not the biggest deal when it comes to sim racing, because some stuff on R Factor is really good and it's, you know, the best there is, and the graphics are really arguably not very good. But man, it's just so pretty. iRacing, the mud and the textures are just so good. It's almost tempting to say it doesn't matter about how the cars drive because it just looks so good. It's personally, I really love iRacing. I love how the cars feel so heavy and weighted and they feel connected to the track. But I know a lot of guys, and there'll be a lot of you who are watching the video, who are R Factor fans, have been playing R Factor for a long time, and you swear black and blue the R Factor is better. And you know what, that's fine too. I agree that R Factor does have a lot of stuff that is better. There's certainly a lot more variety, if nothing else, as far as tracks and stuff go, but a lot of people argue that the physics are better on R Factor for speedway stuff, and you're not entirely wrong. iRacing is not perfect, but people who are asking for my specific opinion, I personally really enjoy the iRacing stuff. And I'm not a big graphics person, to be honest. Like, I don't mind running around in R Factor. And I'm one of the few people who has a YouTube channel that still does R Factor videos, so that's proof to that. But there's just something so incredibly awe-inspiring about cutting laps in iRacing, especially the first time you do laps at a new track or in a new car. It's just awesome. It really just is. It takes your breath away sometimes. It looks stunning. And a lot of that is lost in the YouTube video. It looks good, sure, but the recordings are not any justice on what it's like to sit in front of a monitor and actually play iRacing. So anyway, enough of me gabbering on here. Let's go ahead and pull this car back off into the infield as well. And then we'll go back and take a look at the replay of the street stock around Knoxville, which is an interesting car. I didn't really talk much about it, but I think you'd also get good racing in this car as well at this track, especially as the track slickens off. I think on a really worn track, the street stocks would be good fun to race around here. But let's go and check out the replay. We want to go zoom in a bit, and then our first lap was actually our fastest, so whether the track was going away or whether or not the tyres might have had a role in that, I'm not sure. But we got the Synergy Sim Racing big black bullet with the Speedway Shop signage on it, the pink, looking good. I do like our team dirt cars at Synergy Sim Racing. I think they look pretty good. I painted them, so I'm a bit biased, but I think they look pretty good. This one's basic. This one's very basic, but I think some of them look pretty nice, if I do say so myself. So you see there, running up over the cushion, you get into the dirt, there's dust and mud and stuff flicking everywhere when you get up above the cushion. But it is a good shot of it here, because it was a little hard to see inside the car. You can really see where that cushion is there, looking at it from outside. You can see it there, we're trying to run on it, we go over the top, and look at the mud. Oh, there's cars on the road. You know what, guys, I've never noticed anywhere before on iRacing moving assets in the environment. There's cars cruising down the highway outside, so that's really cool. iRacing done something a little different there, something new. But anyway, enough about talking about cars that are just driving down the highway. I was talking about the cushion, so you can really see there's extra grip at the cushion, and I'm running above it, which isn't ideal there at the minute, but what you want to do is run right below it and stick the right rear tyre just against the edge of that dark section of track. So that's where all the traction is. So that's not too bad. We're a little high there, but that's not too bad. You can see it there right on the cushion. That's perfect. But anyway, I'll let you guys watch another lap or two here of this while I go ahead and get ready to organise the next vehicle that we're going to have a run at. And I haven't actually decided yet what we're going to do next. I think we might go... what do we do? We've done the Legend, we've done the Street Stock. I think what we should do next is probably... what have we got? We've got the UMP Modified, we've got the Sprintcar Winged and Non-Winged, we've got the Midget, and we've got the Late Model. I think that's all. So I think we might have a run in the Midget. We're going to go into the afternoon, and we're going to set the track state to 25, let's say 25%, so another 10% extra wear on what we've got at the minute. And yeah, in the afternoon instead of the morning. So we'll go ahead and I'll put up this quick splash image again while I exit and switch cars again. But yeah, I was actually quite surprised there when I saw those cars rolling down the highway. I don't think I've ever seen iRacing include moving objects in the environments before, so that's a new thing. And I also noticed with Rallycross as well that the tyre bundles move when you hit them as well. So, you know, they're making advancements in things. Like the moving environments is a big thing towards immersion, and although you can't even see them from the track, which is why it's a bit funny, but if you consider things like they've been doing it for a while, flags that blow in the wind, that sort of stuff, it actually makes a big difference. You don't notice it when you're sort of looking, but that sort of stuff makes the world feel more alive. And I'd love to get to a point one day where you see the crowd move around and stuff like that, but it's very resource intensive on the computer, so that'd be tough to do. But obviously another part of the big build for iRacing this week is pit crews animations for the NASCAR stuff. So that's a cool thing as well, and something that we've been wanting to see for quite a while is animated pit crews, and hopefully they come across to the road stuff as well, and we'll get to see some of that in the V8 Supercar series in good time. But it's cool that they're still moving forward with stuff. That's what I'm trying to get at anyway. So not only are they releasing cool new content like the Midget and Knoxville, which is exactly the combination we're about to cut some laps in, both new content, they're also got the Rallycross, which is an enormous addition, but they've updated. We've now got a dirt license for oval and road. It's all these sort of things that add up, you know, they make a big difference. So now we need to adjust our chair or our seat position right back in the Midget. I can't remember where we ran it before, somewhere around about there probably. Maybe a little further back. And these cars are so cool. These Midgets. if you want to and you haven't already, make sure you go check out my Midget preview video that went up just before this one. So it went up only a couple of hours after the build dropped. So if you haven't watched that already, I'd encourage you to go and take a look. And we took the Midget to every track on iRacing and cut some laps and get a bit of a feel for it and see how it's stacked up, all the different tracks, and it was just an absolute bundle of fun. And I honestly didn't think the Midget would be any good at anywhere other than Lanier and perhaps Eldora, but I thought at the big tracks it would be just junk. I didn't think that they would suit these bigger tracks, but Lanier was probably my favourite. But I'll tell you what, Knoxville here in the Midget is actually really, really good. Just running around, you can sort of see now as the track has worn a little bit more again. We're now at, I think it was 25%, that we've got a little bit of a black line through the centre of the corner. You can see there, that's slick. So you drive in that and you spin out. So that will get worse as we go through the video and we check out more cars. But at the minute you can see it's just starting to go slick in the middle, and it's tricky there. It's slippery. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. It's tricky to drive through the slick stuff. You will try it. The car's just buzzing the tyres trying to step out sideways. So what I was talking about before, you see guys run right around the top of the track across the dirt at night at the dirt track, and that's because they're looking for the grip, which is at the outside of the track here. I do believe that the cushion that we were talking about before with the street stock has moved further up the track now. I'm just not brave enough to go looking for it. Okay, here we go. We got closer to it that time. Then of course, Knoxville, quite well known with the surface here, to be very, very good around the inside and the outside. The bottom of the track is usually really, really fast, and it gets like this really thin one line only around the bottom that you can run. Or you run on the fence at the top, and you get this really awesome side-by-side racing scenario where you've got one car got the left front tyre up on the berm on the inside, another car scraping the right rear around the fence, and they're just as fast as each other. It's awesome. Oh, look at this for a run through turns 3 and 4. Look at that. That's like a pro right there. That was as good as you can do it. Please don't go and just crash on the next corner after doing that. That's a pretty common line as well that you'll see in racing here. Start the corner high and you want to get a run on the guy in front of you. Diamond off the exit and head to the bottom because there's good traction on the bottom of the track. You can really move these midgets around a lot. Surprising actually how manoeuvrable they are. It's not really surprising in that they're small and they're light, so you'd expect that, but I really expected these to be a lot harder to drive than they actually are. There's high in, low off. Oh! Oh boy, we were looking at the sky for a little bit there, and then it just bounced, planted the foot as soon as I realised I was okay, and the front wheels came off again, and we drove halfway down the back straight without any wheels touching the ground. Oh, that was incredibly good fun. I love it. I love these cars. Of course, the Knoxville surface is very, very tacky, so if you get a run off the corner like that, pretty easy for the rear wheels to grip up and pull a wheelie. Typically the higher speeds that you're carrying around this track mean that you don't do wheelies, but I missed the pit entry. We'll just go around once more here. Be very keen to go back and check out the replay of that. Uh-oh. Well, how did we not flip? How did we not flip there? Nice little wheelie there as well, just to finish it off. Oh man, the midgets, I tell you, they're a hoot. They really are. So let's peel this thing off and head to the scales as well. I'm interested here because it does look like the pit area sort of starts to wear as well, as if drivers have been driving down and through the pits. I kind of like that. Alright, So, I'm not sure what lap that wheelie was on, so we'll go up here somewhere and watch for a few laps until we see it. We've got a new paint on the Midget from the last time you would have seen it. We painted it up in the iRacing paint section. It's not a custom paint, it's just one of the in-game ones. I am noticing that the number looks to be incorrect, but still looks pretty neat. I like the template, looks cool. And I'm blown away by the Midgets. There's something about them, watching them on the track, they just look right. That was one of the really nice runs around the bottom of the corner there in 3 and 4. You can even see the steering arms there. Here I am pointing at the screen. You guys can't see that. What am I doing? The bar that comes from on the inside, if you look at it, it comes from out of the cockpit on the left-hand side, just in front of the oil tank there. You can see it moving backwards and forwards as you work the steering wheel. It's the steering moving. It's quite cool that even the little details like that, the mechanics of it, are all animated. Which you'd expect that they would be at this level, but sometimes that stuff still catches you by surprise. It's not this lap. Still just waiting to see this big wheelie. I'm waiting to see it. I reckon it's this lap. We cut to the bottom. Yeah, got a little loose. Hit the berm on the inside. Wheelie. 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 All the way down the straight, the wheels are just lifting off the ground. Oh man, I love it. I love it, you guys. That's so much fun. So much fun. Alright, so while we're watching the replay here, I'm going to go back into the iRacing website again and get the next car lined up. And I think for the next one we might have a run in the UMP Modifieds. I think that would probably be the next logical car to run in. So we're going to do that. We'll keep it in the afternoon and we'll adjust the track state out to 40%. Start really cranking it up. Starting to get see some of the slick lines appearing in the track now once we load back in. So I'm going to go ahead and put up this landing page again, just nice and quickly. And we'll head out of the sim and then back in again with the modified. Everything looks right there, so I'll launch the sim and hopefully this doesn't take too long to pop up this time. It's been not bad. It has been moving fairly quickly. It was going so slow before. In fact, this one looks like it's going to load up very fast, so iRacing may have been having a problem and it's resolved. So we're loading back in again nice and quickly. And these ones are a hard one just to get straight into because the UMP Modifieds are interesting actually. I tend to find them extremely wild on corner entry. It's very easy to throw them 90 degrees to the track and just super sideways on the corner entry. Now, that's alright on a short track, but at somewhere like Knoxville, you want the key to speed at a track like this is keeping the car straight. So we'll keep the camera where it is here. Look at the body lean. I love it. I love it. Alright, so we'll roll off the back straight here and we'll fire it up. You can see already that there's a nice black slick line through the middle of the corners. It's not as obvious on this end, probably because of the way that the lighting is on it, the sun. But yeah, it's quite pronounced here off of 2. And you'll be able to see it there as the sun reflects across the shiny section of the track as we just go full noob, clout the wall. I'm not sure, we might have damaged it here. We might need to go back to the pits. It might be alright. I reckon that the UMP Modified is one of the more difficult cars to just get in and drive without any practice. Once you get the hang of them, they're awesome. But I reckon that they're one of those ones that's a little harder to just get into and just drive them fast. Take a look towards the bottom at turns 1 and 2. And we didn't hit it. So we went to the slick and you see we slide all the way out to the fence. That's it. That's how you do it. Left front tyre up on the curb on the inside. That was perfect. We missed it again down at 1 and 2 though, so we'll slide up the track. We'll catch the moisture on the outside, grip up, and drive off the turn. Oh, a little bit too much onto the inside curb there. It's quite hard to see. Here's a little interesting thing about the track. Down at turn 1 here, you can see that inside curbing. Well, I call it curbing, it's just a mound of dirt. You can see the mound of dirt quite clearly down at turn 1, but at turn 3 it's really hard to spot. You can see here, you can't really see it until sort of now. Of course, if you're over it on the left, it's too late. Not bad down there in 3 and 4. Gripping the bottom of the track a lot better. Down here in 1 and 2 we're struggling a little more. And even there, we're still too wide. Rear wheels are in the slick. We'll head back to the top in 3 and 4. I'm much more comfortable in turns 3 and 4. I don't know how different they really are. They look pretty much the same, but I definitely struggle more here in 1 and 2. That was much better. Left rear's in the sticky stuff at least. That's perfect there. 3 and 4 again. So around the bottom is quick down there. And you can see now that the cushion on the top, like it's got good moisture here all the way above that slick line that you can see sort of the darker section of the track. Anything anywhere above that where I'm running right now has got pretty good grip. But you can see that the cushion itself is right out near the fence now. Whoa! Oh, saved it. We just clipped the wall at the end of the straight there and it turned me right. Thought we were going to be in the fence hard. But when in doubt, go flat out. Just planted it, turned left. Hope for the best, and it worked out that time. Oh yeah, we got it there. Backed it into the wall a little bit that time. A little bit there as well. But as the track is starting to slicken off here, it's getting a little bit harder to stay away from the walls. This is better. Yeah, that was beautiful. Right up against the cushion at turn 1. A little lower through 2, but that's okay. Keeps us away from the fence. 3 and 4. Perfect again. 3 and 4 is nice. I'm not having any dramas at that end of the track. Just scraping the wall with the right rear there. 1. I reckon turn 1's a little tighter than turn 3. Feels that way anyway. Could be the banking, could be all sorts of things, but that's just what it feels like. Yeah, definitely struggling to get in at turn 1 on the high side. Uh-oh. There we too aggressive at that left-hand curb. Or the, I don't know what you call it, the mound. That was much nicer on the bottom through 1 and 2, although just on the exit we're in the slick. Get really bad drive off the corner there. A little too sideways in 3 and 4. Oh yeah, again through the slick and you got nothing. Sort of struggling a little more in the modified around here. I'll be interested to see if we have the same problems with the late model, but I'll go ahead and roll back into the pits again. We'll take a look at the replay and then we'll move on to the next vehicle. But I really like the UMP Modified. It is probably one of my more favourite cars in iRacing for the dirt side of stuff. But I don't know that I really like it on this sort of track. I really enjoyed it linear for sure, but and Eldora. But anyway, let's go ahead and head back and watch a couple of laps here. A little bit more zoomed out than usual. iRacing's having some problems with the numbers. Oh, that's one of the ones we got wrong. Turn 3. I definitely have my numbers on a slant normally, and I've also got the wrong number selected. That's normally the 88, not the 21. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Again, we got the Black Bullet Speedway Shop SSR. Black liveries with the pink. Looking good. That was better through there, but just in that you can see the slick. It's getting more obvious now from the high up view. See, the right rear is in the slick stuff there. You can see the car's sideways. It's revving really hard, wheels spinning, not getting the drive. Whereas up here, that's the cushion right up there. Right up there. I can tell you right now, it's only going to get closer to the wall. So through the slick again at 1, and we did go better off the exit of 2 that time. Here we go, 3 and 4, nailed it that time. You can see that the right rear, we ran wide on the exit. The right rear was underneath the slick. Getting nice drive. That's right up at the fence there. That's as close as you go to the wall before you start hitting it. Well, anyway, well, again, we watch a couple of laps of that. We'll get the next car lined up and ready to go. And next, I think that we're going to go ahead and have a run in Wingless Sprintcars, I reckon. Whoa, that's the one where I nearly hit the wall. Whoa, wow, we were all out of control down into turn 1. But Wingless Sprintcars, I think we'll have a run in the 360 non-winged, a little bit less deadly. And we'll go to the late afternoon now, so getting into your evening, and we'll adjust the track state right up to, say, 60%. Okay, good stuff. So now, go ahead, put up our little landing page again. We'll exit the sim, get the next car loaded up nice and quickly here. 360 wingless sprint cars. This should be interesting. The wingless cars are pretty wild. I find there are a lot of similarities between the wingless and the midgets. I think there's a lot of similarities, but in saying that, the wingless is a little bit more deadly. It'll bite harder. It goes faster. It's pretty easy to get it all wrong in a wingless sprint car. So I don't know. We'll see how we go here. The track's going to be pretty slick, so we might be struggling, but hopefully we don't embarrass ourselves too hard here, as we're just waiting for iRacing to fire up. Again, we've got another slow launch here, so just got to be patient for a minute. But I'll be interested to know, you guys. Let me know in the comments after you finish watching the video. What's your favourite vehicle here that I'm running in this video? What one is your favourite for Knoxville out of the ones that we're looking at? It might be the Legend. It might be any of the ones we've run in. It might be the Midget. It could be the big 410 Sprint car or the Super Late model. Let me know what you guys like. I'll be interested to know, as this is just starting to fire up now. But yeah, I'll be interested to know what you guys think. What your preference is as far as favourite series goes. I'm imagining there'll be a lot of Sprint car, a lot of USAC. Midgets will be popular because they're new, and also a lot of late models, I'm sure of it. So baseline, we don't actually have a setup here for. I guess we'll just run baseline. We don't have a setup for Knoxville in the 360 wingless, so that's alright, we'll just run the baseline. I feel like we're sitting really low. Oops, wrong button. Requesting a caution flag. Alright. I know you guys hate it when I sit too far forward, but it's got to find what feels right from my point of view. Where I'm sitting here looking at the screen, and you can see, look at how slick the track is now as we get into the late afternoon. The sun's shining on it. This could be an absolute disaster right here, guys. There isn't much grip through the middle. That was alright. Yeah, we got the wall that time. You guys have any idea how hard it is to just get into the Wingless Spintcar with no practice and drive it? Never going to go close to hitting the bottom at that speed. There we go, that's a bit better into 1 and 2. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Managed to get the bottom to work okay that time. Uh-oh, we're understeering. As soon as these things start to understeer, they're pretty hard to get back. You look like an absolute idiot when you do it. Getting understeer again here. Turn 3. I don't want to get too close to the walls, you guys. I'm scared of them. That's terrible through there. Just, it's all wheel spin. We're not going anywhere. Whoa, way too sideways in the middle of turn 3. That was good, down into turn 1, and now we can hold the high line around and the nice grippy stuff. That was good. A little bit too sideways again in turn 3. That was probably my best lap so far. You got to work so hard in these cars. It's a bit better down into 3. We're, if anything, not quite aggressive enough there, but it's so easy to just go into the wall. Oh, like that. Oh! Big crash. Big crash right there. We'll go back and take a look at the replay of that real quick. We weren't bad through 3 and 4. Never went close to making the turn at turn 1 there. That was a violent crash. We'll go back out. We will have another crack here. We haven't done many laps, so we'll go back out real quick. Just do another quick 5 or so laps, and then we'll check out the replay again. Alright, here we go. That was pretty good. A little bit more aggressive at 3. A little bit more aggressive at 1. A bit low here off the exit of 2 though. Kind of mucked up our entry to 3. A little too sideways at 1, but that wasn't bad. Anytime you can go in there fast without hitting the wall, you're doing alright. Working the wheel so hard I don't even have time to rip a tear off. Well, I thought we were in the fence right there. I thought we were gone. Oh, that was just nice, sitting right on the cushion there. Yeah, didn't cut it down low enough, so through the slick. That was better. Anyway, we'll call it there before we hit the wall and look stupid again. I'll tell you what, they're hard to get in and just go fast in straight off the bat. And that's only the 360, that's not even the 410. Man, the 410s are just an absolute riot. So we're all up here onto the scales again, and it's not really the scales, but you know what I mean. And we'll go back and take a look. So where was the lap? It was here. Just watch this again. Bang! Big crash. And I think that's the first real crash I've had here so far. So anyway, this was the best lap that we did, this first one. So I think there's a little bit in it when it comes to tyres. I reckon the tyres are good. Just like on the road courses, they got good grip in the first lap. So I feel like we did some much better laps, but still this one was the fastest. So two sideways at turn 1. That was where I was really struggling, but I was scared of that wall. It's right up against the fence at turn 2, isn't it, on the exit there. Still two sideways at turn 1. I don't claim to be a good driver, you guys. I don't claim to be very good. I know I'm probably doing it all horrendously wrong. This is one where we really railed the cushion. That was a nice lap right there through turn 3 and 4. You can actually feel it grip up. And again, while we're watching, I'm going to get the next car lined up. So from here we go back to the sedans. I think we'll go to the late models, I reckon, next. And then we're in the sprint cars, and that's it. I don't think we missed any. And that's just railing the cushion there. That was so good. Oh man, that was close to the wall. So late afternoon, we're going to go in the super late models. Just make sure I haven't missed any here. I don't think so. And we'll bump the track state up to 75%. This is where we cut nicely down to the bottom and then called it. So I'll put this thumbnail back up. We'll quickly leave the session and come back in with the super late models, which will be it'll be another challenge. It's so hard to go from one car to another. They all drive so differently. All so different. But I love me some super late model racing, so hopefully this is good fun. Not the sort of... when I think about Knoxville, I think about 410 sprint cars. There's just no two ways about it. That's what I consider Knoxville to be all about. But, you know, it might be a good track for late model racing, so we'll see. We're about to find out. And, you know, not only am I now into the difficult cars to drive, but I'm also in really difficult track conditions too. So the likelihood of looking like an idiot grows with every time I load in a new car here. So we're, again, late afternoon. We've got the Knoxville setup, that's good. But the track state now is starting to get desperate. Not a lot of grip out there now. Here we go. Let's see what we can do here with the late model. Hopefully we don't look stupid. Well, that was a nice run through turn 3 and 4 straight off the bat until the exit there. Try and run around the bottom for a little bit here and just until we figure out what we're doing. It doesn't exactly drive a lot like a wingless sprint car, so take me a couple of laps just to figure it out. Too much around the inside there. See, it's very thin on the bottom. Not much race line left before you're in the slick. That wasn't so bad there off the exit of 4. Alright, let's have a look around. What's up higher? So far as grip goes, not much. I got all the way to the fence there when I really didn't want to. I tend to find that with the late models and stuff, I scrape the wall a lot on the right hand side down the straights. Don't know why. Don't really know why I do that, but for for whatever reason. I tend to do it a lot. We're starting to get the feel for it right here. This is fun. This is what it's all about for me. You've got this track, which by right should be 100 times faster running around down low, because it's so much shorter distance to travel, but the way that the dirt tracks wear across the night and they get slick, and being able to go the longest way around the track and be the fastest car, that's why it's so appealing. I love nothing more than a good pass around the outside of someone. You guys who follow my channel for a long time know that if I've got an option, I'm going to go right to the outside. I'm not scared to go near the fence, unless I'm in a wingless sprint car. Just struggling a little bit with getting the car to turn in. Yeah, see, I tried to throw it and it just didn't wash off the speed. If you try and actually brake and slow down before you get to the corner, you just understeer, so there's a little bit of finesse involved. We're in the slick here, you can just hear it's buzzing the tyres, getting any traction at all. So a certain amount of finesse required to run late models. That was right on the edge of the slick. Oh man, I love it. That's a nice line through there. That was nice and high on the track. And again, struggling with the outside line at turn 1. So we'll go ahead and we'll back it off. Come into the pits real quick. Take a look at the replay. I think that's probably enough laps in the super late model for me. My arms are getting sore. They're hard work. They are pretty hard work. Speeding in the pits. It's all good. Don't tell anyone. Alright. Laps. So we were fast at the start, which is when we were running around the bottom, I think. So we were quicker when we were down low, but there's no fun in that. We made a real mess of it right there on the first attempt. Straight through the slick, no grip at all there. So this is actually our fastest lap, and it looks terrible. For speed, you know, you feel like you're barely moving when you go around the bottom, but the way this track works, it's a terrible line. The way this track works, the way that it grips, you get this really slow looking line around the bottom that's actually fast, and then this balls out high line that is also quick. Oh man, look at that. I just want to run the top. It's a thing of beauty right there. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got the 410 Sprintcar up next, and I don't know that I want to go much more than 75% track wear, because there's not much track left at the top. It's going to be pretty tough to run a sprint car around there without hitting the wall, as it is right now even, let alone with a worse track state. It's not so bad in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 getting a little narrow up on the top. And turn 1 is so tough. That was a beautiful line through there that time. Just scraping the wall. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start setting up the final car as we approach an hour in this video. Another long one, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So we're going to go to the night. 410 winged sprint car. I'm going to run it at 90% track state. I already regret this decision, but anyway. 90% track. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this off, and we'll quickly Go and switch vehicles for the last time in this video. I'm already regretting this decision. 90% track state. Boy, oh boy. I'm looking forward to running sprint cars at Knoxville. I do have a Knoxville Nationals race that I was invited to. You may remember that I did the, and I might have already talked about this in my last video, but I did the, what was it called? The, I'm blanking on the name, but the Grand Slam, the 410 Grand Slam at Lanier a few months ago, and the same guys are running a Knoxville Nationals race for Australians. It's filled already, the positions, but everyone who made the feature for that race was automatically seeded into night 2 for the Knoxville Nationals, so I automatically qualify for the final night, and a bunch of guys are going to race against each other on night 1 to make their way into the field. So we're going to be here for a Knoxville Nationals race, and we're going to have a nice format and try and make our way to the feature again. We got right to the front in the Grand Slam before we hit the, what did we do? We hit one of the other cars. They were running around the top and we were around the bottom, and they got into us on the straight and tore the car up, and we fell back, but we got to the top 5 from last place on the grid thereabouts in that feature. So hopefully we can have another good run at Knoxville and put on a good show for you guys. But that'll be, follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with what I'm up to, but I'll be posting about it on Twitter. I'll be posting about it in the Discord channel, which there's a link for in the description below as well. But follow me on Twitter at Hobbo88. It's the best place to keep up to date with what's going on. And iRacing just failed to launch, so we might be in with dramas here to get the last one in. We'll give it another go, see whether or not we can load it. Just make sure that all of our settings are still right. Looks like they are. We'll give this another go. But yeah, looking forward to the Knoxville Nationals race that we've got coming up. It should be really good fun. And I don't know, I haven't done a race here yet, but I can already kind of tell that there's going to be some excellent racing. If you get the right guys in a race together, should be able to get side by side really good and have some really nice racing. I'm not sure yet whether or not I'll be a top of the track sort of guy or a bottom. I tend to run well on the bottom. That's the annoying thing in iRacing. I tend to be good when I run the bottom, but I much prefer to be sitting on the fence, but I'm not quite good enough at that. The really good guys can really rail the top most of the time, so I don't know. We'll see how that pans out, but 410 sprint cars at Knoxville, I'm expecting to be really good fun. And I'm just looking, and it looks like iRacing is going to crash again here, so we might be in strife. Welcome to week 13 in iRacing. For those who don't understand what this is all about, I'll quickly explain if you're not an iRacing member. 4 times a year, every 12 weeks, iRacing, we are going to launch fine. iRacing deploys a new build. So for 1 week, everything sort of goes into like test mode. Nothing's official. It's all fun, more for fun. And we spend a week just trying out all the new stuff that they release, and that's when they release their new content. So that's why we've got the Midget and we've got Knoxville this week, because it's a new build, so they release all the new content at the same time. But yeah, it's not a bad system. It works pretty well. But of course, in week 13, all the new stuff, you often get a lot of problems, a lot of bugs and stuff that just pop up. So, all right, here it is, guys. The Big Daddy, the 410 sprint car. And I don't know about all this. Let's just see what we can do here. I feel like we're going to have to start to learn how to be good. Throttle and brake to get this car to drive in these conditions, but we'll see. A little bit rusty. It's been a while since we had a run in the sprint car. And you got to remember too, guys, first time on the track in these cars for me in Knoxville, so please forgive my god-awful driving when I do something stupid. I'm trying to use the bottom to get my eye in with the car and get used to it. We're a little high. It's good and smooth, but not fast. just in the slick, you can see it. There's no grip at all in that. Here we go. What's the top got for us? That is holding it flat around the outside of my first attempt at turn 3 and 4. Oh! We got right to the fence and bailed and went to the bottom. Let me let me catch my breath and then we'll head back up there. There's just no grip in the middle. Look at that. The car was gone there in turn 3 and 4. No traction at all around the middle of the track. It's one or the other. You're either up the top or you're down the bottom. Get my composure back and then we'll go back for another go at the top. So that's sort of like the mid-entry slide out to the exit. That feels pretty comfortable at turn 1 and 2. Just a little bit cautious down in the top side at 1 and 2. Whoa! Ran over the mound on the inside of turn 3. Just got away with that one. Uh oh, here's a fence. Car got awkwardly tight at the wrong time there. I knew that was coming. There we go again, holding it flat. Can't quite do that at turn 1, that's just too tight. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Oh, I knew it from a long way away. Let's go back and take a quick look at that. Absolutely railed the top of turns 3 and 4 here. Absolutely beautifully. A little bit awkward on the exit. But I knew straight away I was in trouble there. Right, let's go out and have one more go. Might just quickly pull up the... yeah, we already got the wing all the way back. I might need to work on a bit of a setup for the slick conditions here at Knoxville. The car does not feel perfect for this condition. It's very loose, which is going to be the case obviously with the track so slick, but it's just so loose. You don't want the car to be so sideways. You want to keep it as straight as you can. Oh, wall. We're just way too loose everywhere. Need the car to be a lot tighter. Uh-oh, wall again. I wish I could say I meant to do that. That was almost a perfect cut from the top to the bottom, but it was not intentional. This car's just a little too hard to drive right now. Of course, we are in just about the most difficult conditions that the track can have. So it's not surprising that it's so difficult right now, especially with no practice. It's making me look stupid, you guys. That was better through 1 and 2. A little bit loose again, coming in through 2 though. Oh, too close to the wall on turn in. That broke the car, I think. Alright, well that might do us. I think we're going to have to call it there. The video's gone long enough. We've just passed an hour and 5 minutes, so I think that's probably long enough for this video. But we'll go back into the pits and we'll roll back out and have a look at the replay while we wrap this one up. It's hugely enjoyable track, I have to say. It's every bit as good as I hoped that it would be when I found out Knoxville was coming. Alright, let's go back to our laps. That was the lap before we crashed, was the fastest lap that we did earlier on, so we'll take a quick look at that and then the crash. But yeah, I have to say I'm so impressed by Knoxville. The guys at iRacing have killed it. It just looks amazing. It drives amazing. The track progression, despite having a bit of trouble here, this is our best lap by the way that we're watching right now. Despite having a bit of trouble with the car here at the end, that's just me not being a good enough driver. The here we go, whack, smack the wall. That's yeah, despite having trouble, that's just me not being a good enough driver. But the track wear looks accurate to what you'd expect for Knoxville. It's just famous for having this really good top and really good bottom and just completely slick through the middle. Look at that. It's pretty wild. But we just need to build a setup for the 410 that works well in this condition. The one that iRacing have provided is a little bit wild. You can see there we're struggling massively. Massively. The car is really sideways all the time where it just doesn't need to be, so make some tuning and that'll get better. All in all though, it's amazing. I really am happy with what they've done. I think Knoxville's come up really good. It's probably not my, well, it's probably not my favourite track. It's certainly piqued my interest and I'm looking forward to racing here, but I'm just not a half mile kind of guy. I love Knoxville and I love the track, but I much prefer to run a shorter track, so something like Lanier is much more up my alley, or even Eldora drives like a small track. But that said, I'm looking forward to some really good racing here at Knoxville. I think it's going to be great fun. Can't wait to do some racing. But oh, that's where we got the wall and it damaged the car. But that was ugly. That's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please remember to refer me if you sign up to iRacing, and also follow me on Twitter at Hobbo88 to keep up with all the latest. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button to the channel if you haven't already. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.